My man Bacchus is literally the best wingman, setting up Nina on the perfect date with Charius, saying, hey, this is the last of the specialty wings, I want you to have it. But in return, take the lady on a date, a stroll through the town, and even to put the bow on the little bit of a present that he is presenting him. She has big breasts for someone her age. I mean, despite the kick that Nina gave him, it's not a bad way to get a girl to get on a date there. The guy's awesome, like, he's looking out for her, but I mean, he could have been a bit more subtle, granted, but if it wasn't efficient, you gotta give him credit there. A few weeks back, there was someone in the comment section who pretty much said after Charius was introduced in this kind of hidden way that they were speculating, since they saw the preview and some of the promotional stuff, that essentially they were going to have a relationship that eventually would be a heartbreak thing because Nina doesn't know Charius is actually the king, who she doesn't like, and Charius doesn't know Nina is a dragon, which is essentially a demon. And eventually they would have some sort of a relationship. And I brought this up the next week because I thought it was a brilliant theory, and it 100% made sense. So to see this reveal, I completely expected it thanks to someone in one of the previous comment sections. And I think this is such a perfect way to progress the story. And I mean, even before we focus on their relationship side, I want to give props that the script writers for Shingeki no Bahamut Virgin Soul are so damn good. They are not putting this clear defined image of good and evil, not just on Charius, but on Azriel himself as well. As if you focus on this episode in particular, Charius is put in a more human spotlight. He's contemplating if he's even making the right decisions, as I think it was a grave that he was looking at. He was looking and thinking back on the words of Kaiser. Why can't the three species coexist? The gods, the demons, and the humans. Why can't we coexist together? Because in Season 1, we had literally just that to save the day. But I love how they just subtly frame it as he's contemplating his words, meaning he doesn't truly believe in himself, but he has to, because if you are in a position of leadership, be it a country, be it a kingdom, be it whatever it is, if you don't believe in yourself, everything will crumble. So even if you think you might be making the wrong decisions, you have to push through, because even if you have everyone opposing you, you have to do what you believe is right, because if you don't, the kingdom falls. And I love how they are going back to classic stories, classic things that happened in history. Even though he may not truly believe in himself, he has to do what he thinks is best for humanity, so even after he dies, humanity can prosper, or at least they'll have a chance at it, because he needs to do what he thinks is right, and currently he thinks humanity having power is that. Whether that is the right solution or not, he is pushing through and believing in what he thinks, and he doesn't really want to be king, or at least have all the burdens of a king, but he has to bear them, and seem like he's a stone-cold leader, so everyone will follow in his footsteps, or at least bend the knee. It's why we see him dress up and flee the kingdom, and just have a normal life, and that's why he keeps going back to Nina, because Nina looks at him as a normal person, and he just feels kind of at home, kind of natural. He doesn't feel like he's a king. He gets to have a couple of hours feeling like a normal guy, not having to have the weight of the kingdom on his shoulders, questioning is he actually doing the right thing, while putting on that face, I know what I'm doing, Kaiser, go screw yourself, pretty much. It's beautiful. But even on the flip side, we get to see Azriel now focus in a more demonist spotlight, as Azriel's entire plan is that we're going to take out humans, we're going to do this evil deed, we're going to crash this parade, we're going to kill innocent civilians, everything that's going to happen. It's put in a very ominous spotlight, but even him, he's not an evil character. He's just been put into a situation where he thinks violence is the only way to take care of this. They keep flipping it. It's not just, oh, Charius is this brute of a king. No, Charius has this human side. We get to focus on it. And Azriel seems to be, for the most part, was put in a pretty positive spotlight, to now he's pushed to the edge and now he's put in the negative spotlight. The writers of this series deserve major props, because everything in terms of anime, more times than not, feels like a goddamn Disney film. I've mentioned it before. We have so many Dios, we have so many just characters who are just evil for the sake of being evil. And the fact that they're going the route of making the evil that of human nature, and that they're not just this cardboard cutout Dio-like character, and don't get me wrong, I love JoJo's Dio, but if we only have Dio, it gets pretty damn repetitive and unbelievable, and this is set in a medieval setting. Despite there being dragons, despite there being demons, it's still a believable setting because we've had this in our own history. So to have Charius, a king who you could have easily read in a textbook, it's awesome. And also have Azriel, there isn't a clear defined good or evil, and the fact that they introduced this romance element, and I've been saying it since the beginning, the only way for them to coexist is if there is a bridge to Charius's heart. And Nina can be that bridge. However, I don't think it's going to be happily ever after. We're probably going to have some Romeo and Juliet shit, in a sense. Maybe not exactly that, but in a sense. Nina has feelings for Charius. She loves him. Hell, she even held his hand and didn't turn into a dragon. This could be the first boy that she ever can have some sort of feelings towards, and Charius obviously has some sort of affection for her. I doubt he loves her yet, but he sees something in her. She's strong. She just seems to be not a typical girl. Hell, maybe she could be his queen in his mind. But eventually, everything's going to be revealed. Nina's going to learn that he is in fact the king that she hates, and eventually, he will learn that she is a demon, a dragon. And depending on how the relationship progresses is how this will happen. So many people are saying, Nina, you shouldn't be in a relationship with this guy. He's evil. But Charius isn't evil. He's a king. He has the weight of the entire world on his shoulders. You are not going to be a great person overall. You are going to make decisions that people disagree with. You're going to make decisions that maybe even you yourself are going to disagree with, but you have to push forward, but you also have to take the counsel of those around you. But there has to be a balance because you are the king, the council isn't. So I honestly hope it would be awesome if Charius could learn more compassion about demons, if Nina could mend his heart. However, I've also said this, even if Charius says, you know what, let's make a peace treaty, demons can have the same rights, Azrael at this point I think wouldn't trust him and would stab him in the back. So someone's gotta die. Will it be Azrael? Will it be Charius? Will it be Nina? Someone's going to die, and I don't think there will be happily ever after, and I think this will be a bittersweet end. However, there is now a chance for Charius to see another light, because all along he's only had, you know, literally Kaiser tell him this. And he is taking that to heart as we see him contemplate on his words at the beginning of the episode. But at the core, it's just Kaiser. However, if he falls in love with Nina and Nina tells him the same thing, possibly that may have a more of a hold on him and that will progress him. This episode is fantastic. Every single week I feel like it's getting better because it feels so goddamn down to earth. So all of these anime are written in such a way of black and white, good and evil. They're not writing human characters, and this anime is doing it brilliantly. The animation, the voice acting, just the subtlety of the romance, it had me smiling. If only for one episode, to see both Charius and Nina just have this smile and hold hands and dance and have this romantic tension between them, it was nice, and we know it's not going to last, especially with the plan that is being put in place by Azrael and the demons. However, this series is one of the most impressive, I think. I think it's going to stand in the top 5, if not the top 3 of the year overall, when this year is said and done. I mean, this is a fantastic series. It's my most anticipated of every week, and currently is my favorite of the season. This is a fantastically written series, directed, and visually looking series, and so far I have no major flaws with it, because Charius is such a beautiful written character. All of them are. Like, the returning faces and the new faces are all great, but Charius is the star of the show because he isn't just a cut and paste good or evil character. He is someone who truly believes, like, he's someone who feels like the king who doesn't totally believe in himself, but puts on that face too, because he has to be the king that everyone looks up to. I can't wait for episode 7 next week, but let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Did you love the episode? Do you hate it? Or do you think it was just okay? Before you leave, please be sure to like the video to share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.